Okay, welcome back everyone to day 17. This is going to be part 2 of the series that we're doing for day 17 to just keep it short. So you have 6-minute videos, make it concise. So you can just follow the 6-minute videos, go to the next video and start from there, right? So for this one, for part 2, this is going to be a little bit more comprehensive, but we're only going to start off with installing Git and setting up our SSH keys, right? Then after that, we can also look at the Git commands that we need to type in and then using the Git commands and all those things. So for this one, you do need to have Bootcamp 2026. So you need to have that folder set up as well. So if we just open the File Explorer real quick, right over here, if you go to desktop, you need to have Bootcamp 2026. If you don't have this done, that means you haven't completed day 16, and I would recommend you going through day 16 before moving on to day 17. But once this is done, you'll also have like a couple other days as well from day 1 to 18. And if you remember, we also have a README that we already set up for day 18 that we're going to be storing within our repository, our local repository and a remote repository. And this is going to be really simple. So let's get started with Git first. So what I want you to do is head over to the browser tab, search up Git. It's the first link that appears. Click on that. And then what you want to do is you want to install, right? So install for Windows, install for Macs, Linux, whichever your operating system is, you want to just install from that. So Git for Windows, x64 setup. Since my machine follows x64 architecture, I'm just going to install this. And it does take a little bit of time. It might take longer for you, but you want to just open the file from the download section here and you want to click yes. After you've clicked yes, you want to scroll all the way down. You could read this if you want. I usually don't. You just want to click next for that. For this one, there is an additional checkbox over here if you want to add Git to your desktop, but we usually don't really use Git from our desktop. We're just typing in commands. You want to click next. Notepad as Git's default editor. No, we want to use VS Codium. Okay, so VS Codium is not an option. Let's just make it default Notepad. And if you see VS Code, you want to use VS Code. If there is an option within this drop down for VS Code, definitely use VS Code. Don't use Notepad. Click next. Override the default branch name for new repositories. Let's rename this to main. Oftentimes there's the option let Git decide, and Git uses the older sort of convention that we follow, which is master. But you want to override the default branch name and then name it main. And click next. Then this is all just very recommended. So follow recommended steps for that one. Click next for this. Use native Windows Secure Channel for that. Check out Windows style, commit Unix style line endings. Next, use min_tty. That is very much what we want. Fast forward or merge. That is also what we want. Git credential manager. We also want Git credential manager. And for this one, configure extra options. We want to enable symbolic links. And after this is just going to install. And it's a pretty simple setup. It might take longer for you to install, but this is just dependent on your machine and your Wi-Fi. Okay, perfect. So now that this has been installed, you want to also click on this option right here to launch Git Bash. So click finish. And then after that, what you'll see is Git Bash. And from here, we just need to type in the rest of the commands. So keep Git Bash open, and we're going to type in the rest of the commands here. So let's just scroll down here. This is the first command you want to type in, git config -- global user.name. And Nadim Siddiqui is the name that we have set over here, but what you want to do is you want to set this to your actual name, right? Either the alias or the username that you use for your GitHub account or your actual name. So for me, git config -- global user.name, and I'm going to do Bilal Khan, enter. Then the next command, which is going to be the user email, And that should be it for that. So what you've done now is you've set your for task 1, you've set your username, and for task 2, you've also set your user email. So now this is both going to show up as well. And what you could do just to check is git config -- global list list, and you'll see over here your default branch, you'll see your credentials, and you'll see some other options as well. If you've set up other options, you will see other options, but if you haven't, then you'll only see at most the user.name, user.email, and a bunch of other stuff as well, depending on what you've set for GitHub during the installation stage. And if you really want to go the extra mile, what you could do is just go to this website, or just type in git getting started. And this is sort of like a document, this is like documentation by Git themselves that kind of walks over like some of the best things, or like some of the conventions that you should set up as a first-time user for Git. We've already typed in these commands: git config -- global user.name, git config -- global user.email, and we've also done, we haven't done this one actually, but these two are the most important. You need to have these set. But for the rest of them, these are all just like stuff that you could set later down the line, right? You could set in your color.status, the color of the branch, the color of the interactive mode, the color of the diff, and a bunch of other things as well. It's completely up to you. Okay, so that should be it for the Git setup. We should be good to go now. We could close this, and now we have Git set up, and we're going to move on to task 3, which is initializing a local repository. We don't really need to do task 3 because this is already done for us. If you remember, at the start of the video, I went over the file explorer, I went to desktop, and I went to Bootcamp 2026. This is going to be the repository that we are going to take from our local machine and then store it, or sort of push our code into our remote repository that we created in part 1 of day 17. So that's done already. And then we have task 4, which is just checking the repository status, which we're not going to be doing right now, but we are going to head over to setting up SSH. So for SSH, let me head over to the SSH section over here. This is the SSH section. So part 3 over here, this is going to be setting up your SSH keys, creating the SSH private and public key pair, and then copying the public SSH key, storing that public SSH key onto the GitHub account that you have, right? And then authenticating near the end just to ensure that you have your SSH set up. So just open git bash again, type in git bash in the Windows, what is this, Explorer view, or the Windows icon. Just click the Windows icon and then type in git bash. And then after that, what you want to do is you want to type in the following commands. So these are just like copy paste commands that you can just do. So copy paste this command, paste it here, and this one you're gonna have to change your email. So mine is lofi.audit@gmail.com. Enter. It generates a private public RSA key pair. We want to type in yes for that. Actually, we don't want to type in yes, just press enter. We don't need a passphrase, so press enter. We don't need a passphrase, so press enter. And there you go. You have your key generated. So this has created your public and private keys. And now what you want to do is we can ignore this step over here, verify your Git username, since we already did that step. We want to go over to task 2, which is starting the SSH agent. So we're going to do eval $SSH agent -s, enter. And that's created our agent with the ID 1404. Now let's head over to task 3, which is adding the SSH private key. So what we need to do now is copy this command and paste. And if you do see these extra sort of markers over there, you want to remove those. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger so people can read much easier. These extra sort of like characters, I guess, you want to remove those. You only want to copy what's important, right? And oftentimes when you do copy something, you are going to see those extra characters. So when you do see those extra characters, just some advice: remove them. Otherwise, there's going to be an error. So enter. Now this has added my identity with the email that I already set earlier. And now we're going to go down to task 4, which is copying the public key, right? So we want to type in the clip command and just do .ssh id rsa .pub, and that's copied the command to my clipboard.